Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at something a little different.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at erotic literature.
Interesting.
And you might be surprised to hear that we're going to be jumping off from an Amazon listing.
Okay.
Specifically, the listing for By Curious, an erotic tale.
Interesting.
This is a short and spicy read.
Okay.
It's only 23 pages.
Wow.
Published back in 2013 by K.L. Hall.
All right.
The story follows Candice,
Mm-hmm.
sheltered 20-year-old who discovers a whole new world when she starts at a co-ed university and meets her roommate Jasmine
Okay.
with a 4.3-star rating from
Wow.
over 500 reviews.
That's a lot.
It's clearly struck a chord with readers.
For sure.
But what can this single listing tell us about the wider world of erotic lit
Yeah.
and the people who love it?
That's a good question.
That's exactly what we're here to find out.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
what do you think about this? I mean, this is such an interesting source to be looking at.
It is. It's fascinating to me how, these online spaces like an Amazon listing
Right.
can reveal so much.
Yeah.
We're not just looking at the book in isolation, but at the entire ecosystem that
Yeah.
it exists in,
Yeah.
the reviews, the marketing, the recommendations.
Right.
It all comes together to paint a picture of the genre and its audience.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this ecosystem then.
Sure.
By Curious is categorized on Amazon as lesbian erotica,
Uh-huh.
bisexual erotica, and urban erotica.
Okay.
That's a pretty specific target audience.
Absolutely. And that targeted categorization is key.
Okay.
Amazon's system is designed to lead readers toward content that aligns with their interests,
Yeah.
or maybe spark a new curiosity.
Right.
Think of it as a digital map guiding readers through a vast library of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And for authors and publishers, it's a way to position their work within the market and connect with the right readers.
So it's like a matchmaking service.
Makes sense.
Books and readers.
I like that.
Now, our author, K.L. Hall, is a bit of a rock star in this genre.
Okay.
She's a best-selling and award-winning author with several other popular series, like the Ill is Taboo series and the Potomac Falls series.
Wow.
So clearly she's found a formula that works.
Yeah.
But what is it about her books, and By Curious specifically, that resonates so strongly with readers?
That's a great question, and one that goes beyond just this single book.
Yeah.
By Curious, with its themes of sexual exploration, coming-of-age experiences, and a protagonist transitioning from a sheltered life to a more open one,
Yeah.
actually taps into some of the core desires and anxieties
Right.
we all experience, whether we're readers of erotic literature or not.
You've got me intrigued. So are you saying there's a deeper psychological layer at play here?
Think about it.
Okay.
The transition from innocence to experience is something we all go through in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And those feelings of trepidation, excitement, and the desire to break free from societal norms,
Right.
those are universal.
Yeah.
Erotic literature, in a way, provides a safe space to explore these feelings and fantasies.
So it's not just about the,
Yeah.
shall I say, steamy scenes.
Not at all. Those scenes are definitely part of the appeal,
Yeah.
but they're most effective when they're woven into a compelling narrative
Yeah.
that taps into those deeper emotional and psychological needs.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So how does By Curious, with its short format,
Right.
manage to create that kind of narrative depth?
Well, that's where the author's skill comes in.
Okay.
Crafting a compelling narrative, building tension, and creating believable characters, even within a limited page count, requires a deft hand.
Yeah.
And based on the positive reviews, it seems K.L. Hall has managed to achieve that with By Curious.
Okay.
But to really understand how she does it, we need to dive into the text itself
Right.
and see how those themes and tropes play out.
Let's do that.
Okay, so one of the things that stands out to me about By Curious is how K.L. Hall uses the short format to her advantage. She creates a sense of immediacy and heightened tension, drawing the reader right into the heart of Candice's journey. The story unfolds quickly, focusing on key moments of transformation and desire.
So it's like a condensed, potent dose of those themes we talked about earlier.
Precisely, and that aligns perfectly with what we see in the reader reviews.
Right.
Many reviewers praise the book for its fast-paced, engaging nature.
Yeah.
They appreciate that they can experience this emotional and erotic journey within a short amount of time.
Yeah, that makes sense. People are busy. They want something that grabs them right away.
Right.
But even though it's a quick read, you mentioned the skill it takes to craft a compelling narrative in such a limited space.
Yeah.
What are some of the techniques K.L. Hall uses to make that happen?
Well, one technique she employs is using vivid and evocative language to create a strong sense of atmosphere and intimacy.
Yeah.
You can practically feel the heat between the characters, even in those brief descriptions. She also focuses on key turning points in Candice's emotional and sexual awakening rather than trying to cram in too much detail.
Okay.
It's all about creating a sense of momentum and desire.
You know, as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about how the short format might actually enhance the eroticism of the story.
Oh, interesting.
Like each scene, each interaction carries more weight because there's no time for filler or distraction.
That's a great observation. The condensed format creates a kind of laser focus on the erotic elements, intensifying the impact.
Right.
And that aligns with what we see in the reviews.
Yeah.
Many readers praise the heat level of the story, finding the erotic content fulfilling and satisfying.
Okay, but let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The erotic content is only part of the equation.
Right.
What about the characters?
Sure.
How does K.L. Hall manage to create characters that readers connect with in such a short story?
It's really impressive how she does it.
Yeah.
Even with limited space, she gives us glimpses into Candice's inner world, her anxieties, her desires, her vulnerabilities. We see her transformation from a naive young woman to someone who is starting to embrace her sexuality.
Right.
And Jasmine, the more experienced roommate, serves as both a guide and a catalyst for Candice's exploration.
It sounds like there's a real power dynamic at play between those two characters.
Absolutely. And that dynamic, the tension between experience and innocence,
Yeah.
is a classic trope in erotic literature. It plays into those fantasies of liberation and transgression that we talked about earlier.
And let's not forget the setting.
Right.
A co-ed university is practically a breeding ground for exploration and, well, by curiosity.
Indeed, the setting is crucial.
Yeah.
It provides a backdrop of freedom and possibility, a place where social norms are challenged and new experiences are encouraged.
You know, you mentioned that By Curious is just the first book in a 2-book series.
Yeah.
It seems like K.L. Hall is encouraging readers to continue the journey with Candice and Jasmine.
That's right. And that's a smart strategy, especially in the world of digital publishing. By creating a series, she's giving readers more of what they loved in the first book, deepening their connection to the characters and the world she's created.
And Amazon plays right into that strategy, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
They often bundle books in a series together at a discounted price, making it easy to dive into the next installment.
For sure.
It's like they're saying, hey, you like the appetizer, now go for the main course.
Exactly. And that approach taps into a key aspect of reader psychology.
Right.
We become invested in these characters and their journeys, and we want to see what happens next.
Yeah.
It's a natural human desire to continue the story, to find out how it all unfolds.
Right.
And in the case of a series like this, it also allows for a deeper exploration of the characters and their relationship.
That makes me think about those reader reviews again.
Yeah.
Some readers specifically mention wanting more, expressing a desire to know what happens next in Candice's story.
Right.
It's like the short format creates a kind of craving for more.
It's almost like leaving the reader on a cliffhanger, wanting to know what lies beyond.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the plot.
Right.
It's about wanting to continue that journey of exploration and discovery with the characters.
Speaking of continuing the journey,
Yeah.
it's not just through the books that K.L. Hall engages her audience.
Okay.
She also actively encourages readers to connect with her on social media, specifically Instagram and Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And she has her own website where she shares updates and information about her work.
Right.
So she's building a whole community around her books.
That's such a vital part of being an author in today's world.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on traditional publishing channels anymore.
Right.
You need to connect with your audience directly, build a relationship, and create a sense of community. Social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook provide the perfect avenue for that.
Yeah.
It's a way for authors to share behind-the-scenes glimpses into their writing process, answer reader questions, and generally create a more intimate connection with their fans.
It's like she's taking that sense of intimacy that she creates in her books and extending it into the real world.
Exactly. And that's a powerful strategy.
Yeah.
It allows readers to feel like they're part of something bigger than just the book itself. It creates a sense of belonging and shared experience.
You know, it strikes me that this whole deep dive has revealed so much more than I initially anticipated.
Yeah.
Starting with just a single Amazon listing, we've uncovered insights into the genre, the craft of writing, reader psychology, and even marketing strategies.
Wow.
It's amazing how much information we can glean from something that seems so simple on the surface.
It really highlights the power of observation and analysis.
Right.
By taking the time to dig deeper, to look beyond the surface, we can uncover fascinating insights into human behavior, cultural trends, and the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, we've gained a deeper understanding of the appeal of erotic literature and the ways in which it resonates with readers on a personal level.
It's like we've peeled back the layers of an onion, revealing the complexity and nuance beneath.
I like that analogy.
But as with any good deep dive,
Yeah.
this exploration leaves us with some lingering questions.
Okay.
If erotic literature provides a space for exploration and fantasy, what does that say about the desires and unmet needs that exist in our everyday lives?
Yeah, that is a really thought-provoking question.
Hmm.
You know, throughout this deep dive, we've talked about those universal themes of exploration and transgression,
Right.
the desire to break free from societal norms.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what aspects of those desires might be stifled or suppressed
Yeah.
in our everyday lives, leading us to seek fulfillment in these fictional worlds.
It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it?
Yeah,
On one hand, we live in a society that's increasingly open about sexuality.
right.
But on the other hand, there's still so many taboos and unspoken rules
Yeah,
that govern our behavior.
yeah, for sure.
Perhaps erotic literature offers a way to explore those unspoken desires, to push those boundaries in a safe and imaginative space,
It's almost as if those books provide a sort of pressure valve.
allowing us to release those pent-up desires
Mm-hmm.
and explore those hidden parts of ourselves without fear of judgment or consequence.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the power of storytelling as a means of understanding ourselves and the world around us.
Right.
Through these fictional narratives, we can experience a range of emotions
Yeah.
and explore different facets of our own identities.
What's interesting is that this idea of erotic literature as a form of exploration and self-discovery
Mm-hmm.
isn't limited to a specific gender or sexual orientation.
Right.
You mentioned that bicurious is categorized as both lesbian and bisexual erotica,
Yeah,
suggesting that it appeals to a diverse readership.
absolutely. And that's a testament to the power of these stories.
Yeah.
To transcend individual experiences and speak to something universal about human desire and the longing for connection.
You know, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm struck by how much we've learned.
Yeah.
From a single Amazon listing. It's like we've uncovered a hidden world full of intrigue, passion, and insight.
It's a reminder that even the most seemingly mundane objects can hold a wealth of information
Right.
if we take the time to look closely and ask the right questions.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive
Yeah,
into the world of erotic literature.
absolutely.
So to our listener, we encourage you to continue this exploration on your own.
Yeah,
Maybe pick up a book like By Curious or explore other works by K.L. Hall.
for sure.
Dive into the world of erotic literature and see what resonates with you.
That's a great idea.
You might be surprised by what you discover about yourself and the world around you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time, happy reading.